So, you want to know something really disturbing? We're actually supposed to get snow tonight. Right before Halloween, too. You know, in honor of the fact that we may actually get snow tonight, and we're about to enter very much cold weather for the next several months, how about we kick it off with an ARC Thoughts? Yep. For those of you guys who don't know, I'm a One Piece fan. Once a month, I talk about an arc in One Piece, and I will keep on going until I either catch up with the manga or somehow the manga finishes and I just end when the manga ends. There we go. So, I say in honor of the fact we're going to be getting snow tonight because we go from the prehistoric battleground of the Little Garden to Drum Island. Now, Drum Island is the 10th story arc in the series. 14 manga chapters and 25 manga chapters and 14 anime episodes, which at that time was the longest arc in the series. Of course, we wouldn't know that until after the fact that we'd be getting much longer arcs going forward. So with that said, there is already one problem with this arc already. For the record, I'm going to be getting into the bad before I get into the good. See, we're in the Alabasta saga. We have a narrative goal. We've got to get to Alabasta. So, we have this arc before that. Now, why are we going to Drum Island? Well, believe it or not, this arc actually cleverly started in Little Garden. See, Nami actually gets bitten by some sort of bug and comes down with a very high fever. They have to go to the nearest island to find a doctor, henceforth why we are at Drum Island. Another problem with Drum Island is, I just mentioned Drum Island is I actually didn't mention this yet, but Drum Island is a winter island. When you think of winter, you think snow. That's why I'm doing it now, the fact that we're getting snow tonight. And when you think of snow, you would pretty much think of the color white. Now, there's nothing wrong with the color white, but because there's a lot of white, it's not very visually appealing. And on top of all that, the villain of this arc, Wapol, really is more of a side character, if anything. So, the real conflict of this arc comes from the fact that it's the Straw Hats versus, really, the environment. Because it is cold there. One final problem is, outside of Luffy, and this is depending on whether or not you really want to see the Straw Hats do a lot, the Straw Hats don't really do that much in this arc. Really, they don't. I mean, yeah, Luffy fights Wapol, and Sanji has a cool moment here and there. But for the most part, everyone's just sort of, like, there. Doesn't really leave much to the imagination. So, why is this arc so well liked? Well, it starts with the 6th member of the Straw Hats to come aboard after this arc, and quite possibly everyone's favorite mascot in Japan, outside of Pikachu, Tony Shopper, the ever-lovable reindeer who is also the Straw Hats' doctor. Now, full disclosure, Chopper may very well have one of the greatest, maybe even the greatest backstory in the series in terms of just heartbreaking tragedy. Because, you know, Chopper is a reindeer who ate a Zoan-type devil fruit power known as the human fruit. Yes, there actually is a devil fruit called the human fruit. He gained human levels of sentience. He can walk, he can talk, he can read, he can do all that, which is actually really cool. By the way, don't ask what would happen if a human ate the human fruit. There's just so much that has yet to be explained or what could be said about it that. I'm not going to go into that. But the problem is, because Chopper's a reindeer who ate the human fruit, people and even all other reindeers think he is a monster. So he runs into Dr. Herolook, who actually takes him in sort of like a son. And I'm just going to leave it there because, believe me, the story gets pretty tragic. But the end of the arc is actually really good because by the end, Tony does find a family in the Straw-Eyed Pirates, which is pretty cool. Another really interesting thing about this arc is most definitely a character called Dalton. He's sort of like a character you would think is there, but honestly, when I think about it, Dalton may be the very first Zoan-type devil fruit you see in the series. He basically has the power to transform into a bison. I believe he has the ox fruit model bison. I would need to look that up, but that's pretty much what it is. And you probably think, well, bisons are actually really strong. They can run pretty fast, and yeah, honestly, if I had that power, I really wouldn't complain. But, then again, there really are better powers out there. What else is there? The only other real selling point about this arc I can say is there actually is a little bit of world building here. More like, for starters, we get a flashback to the Reverie, which is pretty relevant considering what happened in the manga recently. So, that's pretty neat. Let's see. It's also the first arc where you hear Gold D. Roger's full name, like outright. Up until then, he was just called Gold Roger. But his full name is Gold, G-O-L-D, the initial, Roger. So that's also really neat. And plus, we also get a first mentioning of the Blackbeard Pirates, who, now is easily one of the most sinister forces in this series. So, yeah. All in all, it's a short little arc, at least shorter in comparison to what we're about to be getting. But, man, it actually has a lot more going for it than it lets on. And that's really cool. So, yeah. Again, sorry about the fact. If you're in my area, I'm sorry that I brought up the fact that we're about to be getting snow. If it makes you feel any better, the next arc takes place on a summer island. And when I mean summer, I mean straight up desert, because now we are finally getting into Alabasta. Now, I mentioned the villain Wapol. He's sort of a weak villain. And honestly, the only thing interesting about Wapol is his devil fruit power, as well as the fact that he does have a cover story in the manga, which is really entertaining. But other than that, Wapol is not a very good villain. But that's okay, because in the next arc that I talk about in November, we're going to be getting one of the greatest villains in the series, and arguably one of the greatest arcs in the series. So, you can look forward to that at the end of November. Like, favorite, share, hit the subscribe button, follow me on social media platforms, notification on YouTube. I am very humbled to make this video for all of you guys who watch and enjoy today. Hope you have a wonderful Thursday, because Thursday evening when I'm doing this. And remember, if you guys want to talk and chat, I'm always going to be here to let you know. So back. Take care and make good choices. See ya.